Hey, what's up YouTube? Little man with a big opinion here, and in today's video I'm going to talk about how to start or form prepping groups, or whether you should just join one that's already out there, like what are requirements that you should set for making a group, or your expectations for when you join a group. So let's just jump right into it. Humans forever ago, um, basically when we were tribal and were hunters and gatherers, we moved around in very small groups, and if they killed the buffalo that year and got enough food for the winter, then they survived. We slowly evolved into congregating and grouping up, into little settlements, um, and switched to more of a agricultural mindset of, this group of people are all going to grow all the food, and this group can solely focus on protecting the tribe, and this group can solely focus on making goods for our tribe to sell, instead of every single person having to. The males were normally hunting, and the females were normally gathering and trapping. Now, certain jobs started to pop up throughout the society, and the reason why I start off with that is because as a prepper, like myself, if SHTF happened tomorrow, for the most part, I'm on my own. Well, I have a small group of people into prepping, part of my family into prepping, but most of them don't live close enough to me to make it matter. So me by myself and my girlfriend, who, as hard as I try, doesn't really want to do it. She's just like, "Yep, you're doing all the work, and I'll survive because of you." Okay, that's fine, whatever. Um, but if SHTF started tomorrow, then I would almost completely revert back to a hunter-gatherer mindset. I've got about a month's worth of food stocked up, and in our pantry we've got a couple weeks worth of food right now because we just went grocery shopping. So I've got about 6 weeks of, I could sit in my apartment and just hide out, hunker down. But after that, it would go, full balls to the wall. I need to go fishing and catch something. I need to shoot something, or I need to start planting a garden stat. And since it's just me, I determine, how much I have to, work for, which is a lot, especially considering I'm very, very basic on how to stock and store foods up for the winter. I've got books and stuff that I can learn it, and I'd figure it out because I like to live. But being by yourself makes the SHTF situation so much harder. So, getting that out of the way, the more people you add to your group, as long as you are all like equally contributing to prepping, then you could make an SHTF situation that much easier. Because go back to what I was saying about the Indians, when they slowly started to fall into settlements, how these people would just focus on farming, these people on protection, these people on that. If you had a group of people, say my sole job was stockpiling ammunition and water, I could put all my funds towards, 7 or 8 55-gallon drums and a rain catchment system and all the water purification I can think of. And I've got a list of all the firearms that my group has. And every chance I get, I go buy some more ammo. And since I don't personally own that firearm, I can just stick it on a shelf and it sits there. And then the next guy, all he does is he stores up foods that have an unlimited shelf life, and he boxes them up or seals them in Mylar bags in a way to where they'll last 30 plus years to indefinitely. And so he's doing this all on his own. So he's got, 700 pounds worth of rice stored up and a bunch of like honey and vinegar and stuff like that. So the benefits of a group are out there. Now, that being said, whether you want to join a group or start your own group, they both come with their pros and cons. If you're forming a group, you are setting the standard for that group. You're setting who comes into the group, and based off of how much they contribute or like what's just going on in your social life, you determine whether or not that person stays with you or you send him off to start another little small branch or whatever. And then the cons of that is you're putting up a lot of extra work doing like the logistics of finding people that you think are appropriate, advertising and promoting this group, and then getting people to want to join the group. And once they've joined it, you told them a standard of, hey, I need you to spend $50 a month towards prepping. It's kind of like NATO is supposed to spend 2% of their annual GDP on their militaries. And there's like 29 countries in there, and only 7 of them meet the standard. So if they aren't meeting your prepping standard, and if something happens and you're putting in, say you're putting in $55 and you made the minimum $50, and 3 of your members are only putting in $30 a month, then they're not contributing to the wellness of the group as much as you are. But when HACF happens, they're expecting equal distribution of all the goods. And then the pros of just joining a group that's already out there is you're not doing the logistical work. They've already set the standard, and if you meet it, great, you can join them. But when you're joining a group, you need to watch out, because sometimes these people might just want more members so that you all stockpile a bunch of stuff at one person's house, and now they have access to everything. And you might join a group that already has strong social ties, and you're kind of like the outcast of the group, and you're not developing your preps, and it's more of a bullying. And you joined us 6 months ago, we've been doing this for 4 years straight. So pros and cons for forming your own group or joining your own group. I think where you will find people for prepping, there's 2 different ways you're gonna find people for prepping. You're either gonna find someone that's like an avid survivalist and they go camping all the time and bushcrafting, and you're gonna have that ex-military guy that thinks they're gonna take away the guns, and so he's got 50 guns and 40,000 rounds of ammunition, and you're gonna try to convince them to become preppers. Or you're going to have someone that sits next to you in your college class, and you get to talking. Y'all are you might share political beliefs or religious beliefs, or y'all might just enjoy talking to each other, and you're like, hey, this is one of my hobbies. We share these things in common. I think you should start doing this. So you're converting a non-prepper into a prepper. And then on the other hand, you're converting someone that has some kind of skill or big ticket item in prepping, but they never thought about prepping. You could have, like I said, 50 guns and 40,000 rounds of ammunition, but if you only have the 1 to 2 weeks worth of food in your pantry, then you're almost no better off than the guy that has no guns and no food. Because you can't eat those bullets, and eventually your luck will run out, and you might not get the deer that you wanted, or you might not be able to steal the food that you thought you were going to be able to steal. I think that wraps this video up. I don't want these to be too long, but I mean, that everything I said makes sense to me. From what I've watched other preppers, Most of them say almost the same thing. They might tweak a few items. Some of them only say about half of what I say, because they're pretty, single-minded of, I've got my bunker and my 50 years worth of food and everything I need, and I'm just going to do everything by myself. Well, if you're that guy, cool. You've got everything you need. You don't need a group. But I think you'd get pretty lonely in your bunker. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you like what I'm doing on YouTube, subscribe. For the 2 of you that have subscribed, thank you guys. I notice when I send out a new video, and almost immediately I have 2 views in like the real time 48 hours. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.